Here it come.
Pull up on the spot, I'm ducking another op from another block until I give him a couple shots. When I hit the spot, we pulling up, it's something high, showing up the rocks. I'm high chief just from the top, we can get it in though. Looking for your kinfolk, all these men in the bar, I'm wig with the pencil. Trying to smoke something, so at last, my last stash got me smoking out the window like I caught backdraft. No turning back, I'm earning scraps and learning that I've been fired with the pen like an inferno match. Send her up to the sky, thunderclouds hit me, show you the full gore with all killer instinct. Put him in a figure four, maybe he will listen more. When I kick in the door, everybody hit the floor. All these girls coming to cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Humble Roses podcast. This is the city of the wolves, city of the roses, city of the lovely, and city of the deadly. I am your host, Dallas Cash. I kind of got the camera like a little wobbly, but I wanted to have a little bit of room because I had a bit of a fiasco last Saturday. Last Saturday was the Tacos and Tequila event up in Geneva, Illinois / Chicago. If you were there, you know what happened. If you weren't, let's just put it in terms, it really felt like a Midwest event. There were a lot of things that went wrong and things that just ended up saving the overall integrity of the show. But I got to get into a lot of different things. But before we get to that, let's introduce the lineup for tonight. So obviously, you guys know me. I'm the host, Dallas Cash. If you are watching, make sure you are subscribed to the Humble Roses podcast. We have a very special guest, and we'll get into that guy in just a second. But I couldn't be remiss if I didn't have my co-host. Number one, we got all the way down from Texas, the workhorse number 2 or 3, whichever you want to be. We have the godmother herself, La Madrina.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, everyone.
And we have another co-host who recently is now a new dad. He just had a son.
Hey, JoJo.
Last week. Last week, we got a new father in the building. Welcome to fatherhood.
We have a new family member. We
have the enforcer of the Humble Roses podcast, my best friend and my right-hand man, as long as they got him in the same room that they had Mankind and The Undertaker in. We got the boiler room boss.
Hey, for Jackson, I will gladly stay in the boiler room. What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's going on? So the Tacos and Tequila event, it allowed me to be introduced to a special someone. And I want to talk a little bit about this guy real quick before we bring him up. So what I've noticed about these wrestlers that I get introduced to is how down to earth they really are. And this guy I met through Ruben Zamora. Shout out to Ruben Zamora, Mass Republic. He was there. If you are watching this, make sure you retweet it. We're sitting at 13 live viewers right now. It'll go up obviously as the night goes along, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this special gentleman right here. So he hails from the Midwest. Now I'll save the big introduction in just a second, but when we were talking, he was talking to me about wanting to get his story out there. And wrestling has many different stories, and we are always about promoting people, especially people in the business who have a story. And from the passion that he had in his heart and his eyes when I was talking to him, he had so much fire. And I ended up getting some footage of him that I'm going to drop later when I release the documentary for Tacos and Tequila. This guy has been to 01 USA, Hottest Topic Pro Wrestling, Galili Lucha Libre, Janesville Wrestling Alliance, Honor Among Wrestling, Midwest Championship Wrestling, Defiant Pro Wrestling. Not only that, but he has held championships and he has made a staple in the indies, teaming up with guys like Sam Stackhouse, and with his battles against, Axel Rico. This is a guy who started out as a prospect, and in his late 20s, he's looking to make a splash. An acrobatic aerial assault master. The absolute complete athlete that you want on the indie scene and in the wrestling scene. This gentleman hails from Ottawa, Illinois, by way of Iowa. Wrestles a lot in Iowa. Probably is on the field more than the Hawkeyes. Probably is on the field more than Big E was when he was in college. We are talking about a man who is destitute to success, the beacon of hope and the light of justice in the time of darkness, and an acrobatic savant. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Austin Michael Baldridge, a.k.a. A.M.B.
Holy cow, what an introduction, man. Thank you for all the kind words. Like,
yeah, that's a wordsmith right there.
Holy cow, you are good at what you do, brother.
Yo, and
you get me goosebumps.
Yo, listen, if you ever make it to the big leagues and you need an announcer, I'll gladly go down the whole resume. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come on out here, and it's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Hey, let's take a look at
tacos and tequilas.
Oh yeah, let's take a look. Big shout out to Wrestle Faith, Miss JoJo. Hey. So we got everyone can get hey. All right, we already got some fans in the comments. Okay.
A.M.B.
So to obviously start this off, I'll ask a question and we'll get to it. I try not to ask the typical, why did you want to become a wrestler? Because everybody is going to ask you that, so we want to ask you some different stuff.
All right,
so let me start out with this. Who is a fictional character that based on your wrestling ability, you can whoop their ass any day of the week?
Whoa.
Okay.
Out the box, though.
Man, that's a tough one. Man, you really put me on the hot seat right off the start.
I'm sorry. What was that word that you said? Did you say hot seat?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are putting A.M.B. on the hot seat.
I'm sorry, A.M.B. My bad, bro.
Fans in the comments, if you have Mr. A.M.B., okay, the heart of Midwest Championship Wrestling and the soul of the Indies, ask him the questions. But I need to know, what fictional character you think you could get Link up out of here? Mario, Kratos, Dante from Devil May Cry.
You know what? We'll go with have you ever seen Death Note?
Of course. I got a Geass tattooed on me from Code Geass.
So I'm a big fan of that anime. I just recently kind of gotten into that stuff over like the last year or two. I'll take on Light Yagami.
Yo, Light is a bitch. I ain't gonna lie. I'm saying one handspring kick to the back of the head. Yeah, it's over for bro.
Nice little handspring cutter for him. He's done.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Before I get to my colleagues and some of the fans, I want to ask you another thing. what's the most important thing about your story that you want people to understand?
Most importantly, it's just kind of taking a chance, on yourself. Uh, I had an opportunity with wrestling, and it kind of was cut short due to a car accident. So, um, as I was getting older, I kind of realized I wasn't getting any younger, and things just kind of weren't really going the way that I had hoped with what I was doing. And, I just figured, hey, why not? I'm a bet on myself. And, you know, I think it's important that people do take a chance no matter what it is that they want to do. Um, and to just trust the process because, like, no matter what stage or what experience you have, learning something new is always going to be a challenge. And I think it's always good to kind of have something bigger than yourself to work towards because you don't look at things through one lens. You kind of see it in a bigger picture. And I feel like that's with what I'm doing with my wrestling. I've had the opportunity to inspire, local kids in my hometown. I've had the chance to inspire even my nephew who deals with cancer, just to kind of like stay strong, just be a little more optimistic, kind of mindset things that come with it. It's amazing no matter what it is you're doing, no matter what level or experience, how much it can truly impact someone. So I think just taking a chance and betting on yourself is probably the most important thing because I had some help from other people and a lot of people that saw more in myself than what I saw in me at times. And if it wasn't for those people, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. And sometimes it's hard, but I always remember that. You know what I mean? Like I always remember those people and just kind of like keep an eye on everyone that I am talking to in my day-to-day life who are just doing normal stuff. And I always learn from them, so I always just try to like be very open-minded about those things. And I use that to kind of keep that message going because that's what got me going in the beginning.
Understood.
Yeah.
Follow-up question, because again, you know, I I want to ask you, and this may hit you a little close to the heart. What does St. Jude's mean to you?
St. Jude's, it means a lot to my family and just with what I do and with wrestling, the little bit of wrestling impact that I have. Um, they've been very fortunate and very open minded about allowing us to have these events, to work with wrestlers and promotions to, you know, get the guidance and the help from the community to provide for these kids and even adults that don't have the opportunity, to maintain a healthy lifestyle and to just keep them going through what they're going through. It's very cool to just see and just hear what they have to go through because, I know for a fact there's someone right now that's hoping that they can just walk. And sometimes we take things like that for granted. And it's just very humbling to hear those things. And I work with the St. Jude's out of Peoria, Illinois, um, and that's where my nephew got his treatment. So it's very close to the heart within my family, and within the community. I know a lot of people that have had, children and family members that have gone through unfortunate events and that have had to go and get treatment and stuff. And um, to have people or a program that St. Jude's has to allow others to try to make a difference for people it's amazing. And I feel very blessed and fortunate to be able to do what I can do just with wrestling to make an impact like that, even if it's for a random kid that I've never met before.
We're proud that we're honored to have you on the show. We're honored to definitely have you on the show. So I commend you for taking the time to do this with us.
Thank you. No problem.
Understood. Nessa, Kev. All right. We're here.
Before I ask my question, I do want to pull this one up that Faith asked. She says, A.M.B, in 2023, you posted an official entrance video featuring a song by Prevail called Chaos. Does that particular song hold any significance to your career or personally?
A little bit of both. So when I first started wrestling, character development and things like that, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to lean into this stuff. I've been fans of like guys like Dolph Ziggler and stuff like that, and like I grew up with older brothers, and my oldest brother is a huge Shawn Michaels fan. So like, of course, just kind of having little conversations with friends and family, like kind of like, hey, what do you think I should do? My brothers and some friends were kind of leaning towards me doing the whole flamboyant side, and I just kind of like experimented in training for a little bit, kind of what it is that I like actually feel within myself that I can kind of exuberate, And I know one thing that I can bring to the table is like when I hit the curtain, they're gonna feel what I'm feeling, no matter if I'm here or here. Um, and I just didn't think that really kind of aligned with this kind of flashy character that I was originally gonna go with. So the song, I was just listening to the song and it really like tapped into me because in my personal life, I was traveling a lot even before wrestling. So I was never really home. And there's a line in that song that says, home is where you make it.
Mm.
And and it's like as the song kept playing when it was released a few years back, I was traveling and I was listening to that album. And that song in particular would always just give me goosebumps. And like there was a weird little moment where I was working, but I was walking through the corridor doors and envisioning an entrance for myself, and I'm like, this song would be amazing because it's so fast paced, energetic, and like just the lyrics themselves. I was going through a lot at the time. I was very young and traveling. I was thousands of miles away from home, so like the song just really tapped in well with me too. So once I came up with the A.M.B reference and just realized I just need to be myself a little bit more, I was like, hey, let's try this song. And I've never looked back since. Now I got wrestlers in the back. As soon as it starts, they'll start singing it. Every time I see them, we'll greet each other and they'll be like, home is, they love it. So it's very energetic. And I have thought about changing it at one point, but now it's just so over. Like they know once the initial starts in the beginning and the intro hits, like soon as that bass hits, they know it's me. So
I love that. And I love that you said, that part where home is where the heart is, because that kind of kicks into the question I wanted to ask you.
yeah.
You have to travel for different shows. So traveling is pretty much based off what your career is. What is the hardest part of being on the road?
So I'm very fortunate enough to where I got a good support system around me, right? There's a lot of people that I know very well on the indies. They travel by themselves all the time. I do as well every now and then. I have a very good support system, whether it be friends, family, or just people that are just going to the shows as fans. Right now, transportation's been probably my biggest headache for like the last like 6 months right now. So I've been fortunate enough to been able to get in car rides with some very good people actually. Haven't really had no issues on the road. I enjoy the traveling aspect of it. I know a lot of wrestlers kind of might see that as a bit of a headache and stuff, but I traveled for like 6.5 years before I started wrestling, going coast to coast, building retail stores. So like I was on the road for weeks, months, even at a time. And, I'm not really tied down to anything. So I think that's another good thing about what I got going on as well. So like, I'm very fortunate enough to have some people that can look out for me if I need. And then I would say just, especially in the Midwest, there's so much construction, like you can't get around it. It's probably the worst. Um, and with me lately, I've been renting out my wrestling ring. So I'm always in a U-Haul. So people don't really want to hit a U-Haul and they don't necessarily want to cause any problems on the road. So when I'm in that truck, I don't really have any issues. It's mainly when I'm in like a regular car. Uh, in the Midwest, people drive with lead foot and whatnot. But you know, I I would say probably maintaining like a nice diet though, because I've been trying to incorporate that for like the last like half of the year now, and that's pretty hard. Believe it or not, it's pretty hard. So you really got to be ahead of your stuff and just meal prep, and just make sure you got everything accordingly before you walk out. So,
to add into that real quick, so you're on the road. What's your favorite go-to meal?
my favorite go-to. So I'm a big lately I just tried Popeyes for like the first time.
Oh,
So yeah, that's been kind of like if I see one, I've been trying to hit one every now and then, just get a couple of chicken breasts or some thighs or something. A buddy of mine in wrestling kind of told me like, hey, if you can eat this and maintain this, and this will help you bulk up a little bit. So I've been trying to eat those a lot. I spend a lot of time up like in Chicagoland on the weekends. So like I want to say Portillo's is probably like my go-to meal after wrestling. I know it's a lot like really greasy and stuff, but
mm-hmm.
know,
Portillo's.
I work hard, so I feel like after a long day of
You deserve it.
Need a cake
Treat
shake.
yourself.
Yeah, so I feel because like I'm hauling the ring around a lot, so and I have like minimal help with that. So like last weekend when I met you, Dallas, that morning, the day before, I loaded that entire ring up by myself. So like
Wow.
that's an entire workout. And then so like I stay active. So I think if I eat like something like that, it's not gonna, ruin me too much. So that's probably like my go-to thing, either Portillo's or Popeyes. If I can find one, go to them.
Wrestle Faith said, "Don't eat the Popeyes biscuit without something to drink."
Yeah, you don't want to die. You don't want to do that.
I learned my lessons. Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, you got choked out by the biscuit too?
I did. And I was trying to speak to someone too, and it was awful.
It's kind of like doing the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, don't do that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports BSP wants to know ice sweet tea or Sprite.
Ooh, Sprite all day. Sprite.
I knew you was a real one. Kev.
A.M.B, you definitely a weird one for the Sprite.
Sprite all day. All day.
But you had answered this in a previous question. You got a thing for wrestlers with the flair, right? The Dolph Zigglers, the Shawn Michaels of the world.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the most flamboyant entrance you remember that caught your eye in professional wrestling?
He's kind of got like a bad reputation. I guess he got into some trouble, but Joey Ryan would do some outlandish stuff when he would come to the ring. I remember watching a lot of like PWG stuff like a few years ago. And Gold, like, not Goldust did all right stuff, but probably him. He's done some wild stuff. That's probably who I can think of right now, just like right off the top of my head. He always stuck out to me too. Like when that was around the time I started getting into independent wrestling, was like 2015 and stuff. So like 2015, 2016, and he was pretty popular. And I just remember that guy had a lot of like charisma, I would say, to him. And he had a lot of like flamboyant stuff that he would do in his matches. And it's kind of like raised the eyebrow a little bit, but it was entertainment. So I always enjoyed it.
Well, part of that entertainment is having the wherewithal of connecting with the audience. I watched one of your matches, okay? I watched several, okay? There's a match where you're coming down to the ring and like you got a girl behind you. And you get into this intense staring contest with this fan ringside who's just sitting like this, not trying to stare at you. And you stared at this guy for like almost a minute. What were you trying to get out of him in that moment?
That stare right there. That's what he was
Oh,
doing.
he's doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
Oh, okay. He froze on us.
He's doing the fin freeze.
Yeah. Don't
He
fall
fell.
for the bait.
He fell for the bait. No. Well, we're. I think he might have had some technical difficulties, so I'll
Oh,
just. We'll just keep the show going. Um, but so far, how are you guys enjoying this interview? Everything cool?
Definitely.
oh,
I
hell yeah.
It's
I
the
think
fact that you were able to, you went to Tacos and Tequila, right? To
right.
represent.
Mm-hmm.
And you call us and we're like, we're having an interview with the independent wrestler that I just met. Let's get a story out. And I love it. I love
Yeah,
everything.
I thought it
Well,
was
my man
cool.
says he was out there, putting, boots to asses, representing the brand. There you go.
Get that.
It's to
Oh
say,
yeah. My favorite podcast t-shirt.
yeah, we
You
definitely
know
had
what,
some.
Dallas, we
Oh,
need to talk to this man about his loyalty here.
I am loyal. I am here. I love this podcast. But
yeah,
JT.
you love the podcast so much that you fucking ended it last week.
Hey, y'all can get that out the way right now.
You know what?
Turn away on this one day. Alright. Here comes the judge. You never know what they'll do or say.
This should make a good.
Thank you.
Y'all are petty.
And you know what, though? I'm just going to call it an initiation or a rite of passage for the men of the Rose Kingdom, because Dallas did that to me in Angel. Popped in.
No. He didn't pull a Kev before Kev.
We were at like 400 and something viewers. And he's like, okay, I got to go. And then
First of all, nobody fucking. You ain't gonna come on. You
Yo.
he didn't hear nothing. He ain't trying to hear nothing. Look at him.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Proof. Y'all want to see that? You have to go deep into the archives on our YouTube channel.
My stash is with Baby Jackson covering the rest of his
I'll
head.
delete
That's where it
that
went.
motherfucking show so nobody sees it.
Did y'all look at? He got flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, hey, big shout
Yes, you have.
out to John Watson. You know what I'm saying?
What up, John, baby?
I'll be on Sports for You later. We think we lost our guest.
Yes, this is really me. I'm in the boiler room.
Damn, I knew I forgot. So you called Rose Court, and I'm just like, the men of Sports for You have trouble remembering my name.
Wow. Shout out Trail and John. Wow, that's one.
It's not John this time. It's so much as Trail.
Yeah, Kofi got me.
Hey, what up, Dalton? What up, Dalton?
I didn't thank the Lord for the new day, so he came and got that on out of here. What up, Dalton?
He said he don't know what happened, but he said he didn't know what happened, but his internet cut out. He was like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Oh, take your time, dude. We have issues all the time."
Yeah.
It's beautiful to hear stories like that, because it's kind of like we get to see people now as big stars, and we don't really get to always hear their start stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And for him to be able to say that he was, his story about him being derailed because of a car accident, and he's still pushing now is amazing. Yeah. And not only that, but to be able to do things like that with St. Jude and trying to be a role model and all that, I love hearing it.
Big shout out to King Latifah. King Latifah is here. I know that ain't who I think it is. Is that Ariel Samuel? Is that my Alabama homie Rikarsha Rudolph? Yeah, that's Rikarsha, all right.
We love y'all.
Right, man. Nothing but love.
Listen, the Wyatt Six have been trying to destroy our podcast, and we will not allow it.
You
can't.
Oh, thank you, Faith.
You can't stop us.
And
we got A.M.B on the show. I don't care how many times this internet goes out.
We promise Wyatt Six will never win.
Damn right.
It's cutting out too. I don't know what was going on.
What in the poltergeist is going on here?
We thought you were giving us a staring contest. It
Yeah,
went
so
Right. Like
yeah,
you saw the bit.
yeah. So about that staring contest with that fan,
Yeah.
what reaction were you trying to draw out of that fan? And do you like being the bad guy more than a good guy?
So yeah, that night, some like backstory. I joined a group. So I had an Ironman match. I was the HAW champion. Uh, I lost against Gunner Kane now,
Oh,
and he beat me. And I turned on
Mhm.
him and joined a group called Aura.
Okay.
Yeah, the HAW fans, they just don't follow what is really going on in HAW. They don't really follow the people that they cheer for. They don't really invest into what they want to see. And they're not, when you speak to them, you can tell within minutes. So I thought it would be good to join the other side per se. And yeah, so when I walked out, they were saying that Reagan Lydell was my girlfriend, all this other stuff, which clearly shows they got a low IQ. So I don't know what that guy was trying to pull with me, but he was heckling me all night. So I stepped up to him, just to see if he would get out of his seat. And it led to about a 3-minute stare down. And I won. They were rushing me, management. Danny HAW was telling me, show's got to keep going and whatnot. But that's my time when I'm out there. So I figured, why not? Let's get into a little stare down with the guy. I wasn't really trying to provoke him per se, but just try to let him know I'm in your face. You can say whatever you want. And he didn't say anything. His friend actually said something for him. So I don't like being the bad guy, though. Like, believe it or not, I really don't like being the bad guy.
you
I
do it
find
so
it.
naturally, though.
I was like, damn, he's with
Like,
You do it so naturally because you were standing on the apron and you looked out in the crowd and you're like, nah, you paid money to see me. You go sit there
mhm.
and deal with it. That
And I'm
can't
not.
that
I'm not wrong. So um, yeah, that was just a little dilemma that I had to kind of deal with when I was there with the fans for a short period of time. They kind of realized what I'm about, and that I just I'm a pure passionate person when it comes to professional wrestling. Whether I am the best, whether people say that or not, I have to approach it and try to learn something from it. And I got to be as confident in myself because I'm the only one that truly believes in me more than anyone else. So, like, if I don't believe in me, I have to, you know, I just can't fake anything. I just really can't. Like, I care so much about wrestling, and I have a lot of passion and energy behind me just as an individual, and I need something to channel that in. So if they need me to be the bad guy, I can channel that energy right away. I don't like to do that. I don't like being the bad guy. I really like interacting with the fans. I like hearing their experiences. I like putting on a good show. Uh, and one of the best things that I think about me as a professional wrestler is the amount of fire that I do bring when I'm out there. Um, they can hate me, they can like me. It doesn't change the facts that I'm gonna go out there and work hard. You know what I mean? So I kind of lay my hat on that.
understood.
I love
I
that.
uh I love that. Nessa, what was your follow-up question? Because I know I see you got a follow-up question there.
Well, so you talk about the crowd and his interaction with the crowd. Within your career, do you have like a favorite crowd that you interact, like they were just so hyped that it made you just want to go even more above 100%?
Um, so Gali Lucha Libre,
Mm,
that's kind of like my home in Chicago. It's I love that crowd. You know, um, they got the horns, they got the drums going, they got the tradition, where like, and they appreciate hard work. I didn't really understand this so much because growing up, I kind of grew up just watching WWE for most of my life, and I didn't realize there was a world outside of that. And I discovered New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that is kind of what sparked all of this. I saw Will Ospreay, and that kind of like really, it was like, whoa, this is different. And then I started watching a little bit of lucha libre here and there when I was in high school, and I realized that they have that tradition where, like, if they really respect your hard work and your effort in the match that you put out or the story, whatever it is, they'll throw money in. And I saw that for the first time at Gali Lucha Libre, and it was amazing to see because it was a good match. But it was just really cool to see like a whole new tradition, you know, that lives. I don't have to travel to Mexico to experience that. You know what I mean? It was very eye opening. And that was when I like first got into wrestling. So like I really was just traveling and just trying to like see what was out there and whatnot. And the moment I kind of saw Gali Lucha Libre and saw the way that them crowds were, I'm like, this is a place that I want to wrestle at. I have to wrestle at, and I want to learn the style of Lucha Libre. So why not try to work something out there? And I haven't looked back since with Gali Lucha Libre. It's like my home. I try to go there as much as I can. So
Wrestle Faith, who is of Samoan lineage, says, I have to ask, A.M.B, have you ever wrestled anyone from the Samoan dynasty or of Samoan lineage?
I have not. I would love to. Zillafat too is someone that I keep a close eye on. He's everywhere, you know. You never know when he can be in the area, so I think that's kind of cool. I know I probably won't be the first person in line to have that opportunity, but just to even, you know, if you would have asked me like 7-8 years ago, just even having this conversation of it being possible, like I wouldn't have believed you. So just to kind of be able to say like, yeah, he might come to the area, I could try to make something happen. Like that's pretty amazing to me. So I have not yet, but I would love to. Big fan of all those guys.
Okay. Kev, I'm waiting on you, bro.
Oh, well, A.M.B, I got a question. A lot of people have, you know, their favorite matches and whatnot. Can you tell me a memorable match where there was like a spot that went like horribly wrong, but you just cleaned it up and it just like the first bad spot that comes to mind?
Man. Yeah.
He's reminiscing right now.
I know, like I said, man, I know you got a couple.
There's a few. Yeah, there's a few. There was one time I was this one time I was trying to do a springboard head scissor off of the middle rope, and the guy was kind of like too far in the way that like we rotated. I thought I pretty much killed the guy the way that it looked like he spiked himself. So I thought I like killed the guy. But he did some sort of like resorte out of it where like he like kicked up and everything. And the whole time in my mind, I was like panicking because I'm like, oh my God, I just like killed this dude, you know? But he ended up like popping up to his feet and just like falling to the outside. And it was actually really cool to like look back on film and see because he was just like doing his job, you know? He just took the bump and went crazy with it. But I was like, oh my, I got to the back and I'm like, dude, you good? You good? Like, like see. I'm like, oh man, you know, this is insane. Cause like they're trusting me, you know. So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And it was like very early on, when I was at Gali Lucha Libre too. It was like one of the first few matches that I had where I was wrestling like the veterans there. And there's a language barrier, of course. So like I didn't really, all of us were busy. We're doing like a show on a ranch and stuff like that. So everybody's kind of there's moving parts everywhere. And yeah, so I couldn't really be like, hey, can you translate for me? I just kind of had to read and react to what they were doing and just trust them. But we all made it out of there in one piece. He said he was fine. And I realized that he was just adding some extra sizzle to this move and whatnot. But I was so terrified I hurt the guy. And it was a good time. We ended up having a beer afterwards. So
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was cool. It was cool.
I will say context is everything. Us Hispanics, we talk a lot with our hands. So if you just kind of, when we're trying to get something out, if you just kind of watch the context of the hands and everything, you'll kind of click. But if you're trying to learn Spanish on the road, listening to music or like soap operas, telenovelas, the context of it, you'll pick up quickly.
Okay.
Let's do some rapid fire questions, like, pick the pace of this up. Let's get it. All right. Rikarsha Rudolph, one of my favorite people from Alabama. She says, "What's your dream match?"
Will Ospreay. I know it's pretty like far down the pipeline, but yeah, and like I grew up I was born in '98, and I grew up watching WWE, and there's a lot of other guys that inspired me and like kind of motivated me to pursue this and become a fan. But like I was saying earlier, like I had never realized there was something outside of WWE and like the WCW thing. So like just from seeing the little bit of the cruiserweights that I did and everybody else, like the matches that I saw with him in New Japan Pro Wrestling, really just like was amazing to me, because those were moves that, like, some of those moves were like I was out on the trampoline as a kid trying to figure out, is this even possible, And it was just crazy because I stopped watching wrestling for maybe about a summer or two. I was like really wrapped up in sports and all that stuff. So I was like keeping up with it, but still it was just WWE. And it was just amazing to see that. So he's definitely the number one on my list. I had a chance to meet him and have a nice like 20-minute conversation with him about life and, passion and dreams and everything. And again, he inspired me again. So it was just like, he's definitely up there for sure.
Oh. Next question is from Mrs. JoJo. She says, "I have a friend of mine who also travels. Have you ever crossed paths with a Ringmaster Midas and Blazing Lion?"
I have not. No.
Okay. Who's the best wrestler that has never won world champion? It could be any promotions. This is from Dalton.
That you feel.
Mm-hmm. Mine personally is probably Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, no, give him a second because he's thinking. I mean, I guess
Owen Hart.
Oh yeah.
Owen Hart.
Strong.
I've been watching
That's
so
strong.
much Bret Hart and like Stone Cold stuff lately. When I like am just kind of scrolling through and just on YouTube or just watching stuff, and like my brother's here with me now, and like we have conversations and stuff, and like he grew up watching Owen, and like where I kind of like missed that, and hearing them explain some of the stuff, and then just kind of knowing what I kind of know from like what I've learned, and just watching him, like the way he can pace, that he's just so good, that and super talented, and everything that he always elevated everybody he was in the ring with, no matter where they were at on the card. That's probably like the guy that it's unfortunate when you think about it, he never got that opportunity.
Never got that opportunity. I think he would have gotten it at the peak of the Attitude Era, 99s and 2000s. Ariel asks, "Hi, A.M.B. My name is Ariel, and I want to ask you this. Who was the guy that taught you how to wrestle and how to cut a promo?"
So I actually, this is kind of like some of the diversity between my roots in wrestling is like I didn't really come up in a traditional way. I was traveling on that job that I had previously. I had some like basic training, was in that car accident, and just went back to my normal job, and like always had this aspiration to pursue it, and would always reach out to schools. No matter what state I was in, no matter what town, I would always like look at wrestling schools, reach out to them. And I reached out to a guy who's no longer with us now, James Stoblin, who's also known as Jimmy Smooth. I realized he ran a local promotion close to my hometown. And I had told him I wasn't like fully yet trained and whatnot, but these are like aspirations that I have. And without even second guessing it, he called me up right away. And we spent about, I'm not even joking, we spent about 12 to maybe 14 hours on the phone because I was traveling from Kentucky to Arizona. And that whole time we were on the phone. Like no one's phone
Wow.
died.
That's
No one, we didn't, hey, I'll call you back. None of that. And the whole time he was just, I don't know, he was just explaining like, this is what wrestling is and how he was taught it. This is what he's been up to the last few years. This is, the situation that he's in. He's wanting to, take one real last like shot at everything. And I had just kind of ended it on a conversation. Well, if you get a building, I'll show up. And he called me up like a week later and pretty much convinced me to quit my job, right on the spot. And I left for California and came back home to Illinois and sat on the couch for probably a week, maybe 12 days, and wasn't sure what the hell I was doing. I thought I just ruined everything in my life. There was no guarantees, no promises, nothing. And he picked me up one day and I haven't looked back. So um, never, and he was just trained to be a ref. So he didn't really, and he had some health complications and whatnot. He was a little bit older. And so he couldn't really physically train me the wrestling. So there was a guy that he had been working with called Chris the Wild Card Mercer. He's out of
Oh,
Iowa City, Iowa.
yeah, and
And
you wrestled him in a street fight, didn't you?
I did, yes. So he
Fire.
came out and he started rolling around with me and just like really show me what you know. Let's see what there is to work on and things like that. And probably the second day we were training, we were doing full blown 25, 30-minute long matches together, just because our ideas about wrestling are the same, the way we wanted to build things up, the things we thought we were physically capable of doing. It all just kind of meshed pretty well. And so I kind of credit him to getting me started. Rockin' Randy Ritchie was the school that I was at. He runs Premier Pro Wrestling. It was in Woodstock, Illinois at the time. I believe they run out of Rockford now. So like I just been kind of learning off the fly. I've been fortunate enough to learn from guys like Christian Rose, former Dreamwave champion and whatnot. Very prominent promotion. I've been able to learn from him and many, many other people all throughout the Midwest. And I think I've had that opportunity to ask them questions and to learn from them because they see how much that I'm really putting myself out there. I really want this, and there's really nothing that's going to stop me from pursuing this. And I think all that hard work and that passion really exuberates onto people, and people will see that in just a normal conversation, but also as soon as they see me wrestle, they know what I'm all about. I'm all about bringing high energy, high impact, high velocity, wrestling. So
Quick question from author Lena Dow. What's been your most memorable match or moment in the ring so far?
my most memorable match wasn't recorded, unfortunately,
Shit.
but it was a special event for Wrigley Field, Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
They hosted, for the first time ever, they hosted Pro Wrestling Night, WWE Night. They had
okay.
Big E and Grayson Waller there. And again, Galley Lucha Libre, I'm probably going to mention them a lot in this, but I owe a lot to them. They were fortunate enough to put me in the match in the main event, and we wrestled at Wrigley Field. It's not like a traditional show or whatever, but that was by far, like, nobody can take that away from me. It was the first time they had ever had wrestling there. So, and it was cool, and we won. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kevin and Nessa, go ahead and get your questions out. I want to get into tacos and tequila and Mass Republic right after these questions.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of have a what if question. So if wrestling wasn't the career path, what would you have seen yourself doing?
Honestly, I really don't know, because I was still struggling even before I found wrestling and had like a real opportunity to pursue this. I was still kind of just trying to figure things out. Uh, I knew I wanted to travel a lot, so that was something that like I always had been seeking. Um, to be honest, I've been wanting to learn more about like videography and stuff like that. I've been learning that through wrestling and stuff, but I think it would be very cool to kind of like go to school for something like that and like actually figure out how to work with the bigger equipment and the things that really make a difference and learn the things that these producers and these directors are learning, to whether it's a short film or a high produced movie, whatever it is. The way that you can encapsulate art with that, I think, is amazing. I've been having a lot of fun with wrestling, helping make flyers, and I've been editing my own videos and stuff like that. And like, it's pretty amazing how many people need someone that can do those things for them. So like, there's always someone who needs something filmed. There's always someone who needs something edited up for them or is looking to get a photo done. So I think something in media, um, not the streaming thing. I think that's oversaturated right now. Um, but yeah, maybe even a podcast. I had a wild thought in high school about wanting to do a wrestling podcast, but wrestling obviously is my number one passion. So.
Mm-hmm.
What if you were like the first wrestler who wore like a camera on his body so that we could see the action from your perspective?
Believe it or not, someone already beat us to that punch. This was a limitless
Oh,
thing. I actually just saw a couple clips of him. A buddy of mine, Conan Lycan, I keep close tabs on him because he's a good dude, and he's traveling his ass off and working hard. And I seen him at Limitless, and I believe there was a guy there who wrestles with a whole chest thing and a GoPro, and so it's pretty innovative though.
yo.
Yeah.
Oh, my final question is, everybody has their favorite finisher. Mine's is the vertebreaker because I rarely see it, and you dropping somebody on their neck. So A.M.B, what's yours?
Tiger Driver.
Hold on. Wait.
You been hanging out with Dallas too long.
Wait. Hold on. I need to ask you this question because it's the most important question. Tiger Driver is my all-time favorite finisher, but it based upon the year determines which one.
Okay.
Mine.
You can do this.
Which
97.
one is yours? 97. Okay.
That's a good one.
97 is a good one. Mine is a 91.
Okay.
91, which because I used it in the WrestleMania 2000 video game when I created a wrestler, and No Mercy. Let me tell you something. It's a New Japan Pro Wrestling finisher. It was,
sure is.
You know what I'm saying? Invented by, well, honestly, Mitsuharu Misawa, who King from Tekken was based off of. And they put like a version of that finisher in the game. I am so like, you're the only person I've met that actually has the Tiger Driver as one of his all-time favorite finishers.
I love this. I love all of this.
See, I knew you was a real one, man.
Yes, sir.
He's about to start glazing, bro.
No, it's my daughter just brought me pizza. Okay, see, my daughter is so nice.
Yeah, Tiger Driver, man. I've been like watching a lot of New Japan for like the last few months, and that's just one of those moves,
It just
a lot can go wrong with it, but if you do it, you get it right. It's one of the most beautiful, most impactful looking moves ever. And I like it. I'm not really that big yet to be, doing moves like that to people, but man, one day if someone better pray that I don't hit that on them, because
I know that's right.
Send them, I've been That's one of my favorite moves ever in
Same
wrestling.
here.
That and the sharpshooter. Those are my like two favorite moves.
Professional ball knower. So we wanted to ask you a little bit about tacos and tequila. You know, you got started with, because I was there for your match, and then right when you were about to go on, it rained.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the Midwest, you know how it is. You live out there. So Ruben Zamora from Mass Republic introduced me to you. How did you get in touch with you? What was the conversation like?
So the promoter that brought me into wrestling, Jimmy Smooth, um, I was again just a greenhorn, just trying to pay dues. And he never really guaranteed me or promised me anything. He couldn't train me to wrestle, so he always said, I can just take you to places and get you in front of people. If you work hard, they'll give you an opportunity. And I was just traveling the road with Jimmy a lot, and he got called one day from Galley. Carlos, the promoter at Galley Lucha Libre, lined him up with Ruben, and Ruben really liked talking to Jimmy and whatnot. And next thing you know, we were in Milwaukee for the very first tacos and tequilas, and it rained a lot that night as well. So I've never been to a tacos and tequilas where it has not rained. That first night, I spent like an hour and a half out there just fending off drunk people, trying to slide in the ring and do all this stuff in the pouring rain. And it kind of led from that. And Ruben was just like, hey, this kid, he wants to protect the ring. He wants to, he cares about his wrestling. Let's keep this kid on board. And I did another one of those with Jimmy. And then Jimmy, unfortunately, had passed away. And I wasn't sure if I was going to have the opportunity to work with Ruben again. But earlier this year, in about August, at the beginning of August, I was kind of texted by him and said, hey, I would love to still have you on board and everything like that. So it was things lined up. Everything was confirmed. I was told by everybody we're ready to go. And I hauled my ring up, and there we were.
So before I pass it to Nessa and Kev for another question, I've always wondered, as indie wrestlers, obviously it depends on the show. What does the pay look like? Ballpark.
Oh, so
Okay.
it varies, it varies. It just depends on the individual, and a lot of people just kind of overlook how much a promotion or a promoter has to invest. So me personally, I have been told by a lot of people that maybe I should ask for a little bit more money. I don't see that I should, because I don't think it matters if you've been in this for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. What matters is do you contribute? And what that means is can you sell tickets? Can you get these people invested? You know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing. And if you can't bring that to the table, if you know for a fact, like maybe you're new, for example, and like, oh, you're just not sure, right? Try to find something else. And I think that's like a good mindset to have. A lot of people will say that, for myself, oh, hey, maybe you're cutting yourself short. Well, no, because I'm investing a lot of time and I'm learning a lot of new skills, like for example, I brought up the video editing and stuff like that. Networking and making connections with people on any level is the most important thing. It is a business. You want to make money and everything like that, so don't get me wrong. But I think if you have that mindset to where you can find ways to contribute, it's all like compound interest. These small things will add up, and eventually, depending on where you're at, these people will take notice of it. So it just kind of matters where you go, what it is that you're looking for. I know a lot of people travel in their own personal vehicles, so a lot of people will ask for gas money and things like that. So I can't really speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. I personally just try to always, if I can't go home with the thought or the satisfaction of knowing that I contributed where I learned something, where I got some exposure out of it, then maybe I should second guess that decision on going to some of those places. So that's just kind of, I guess, how it goes. I've never really been taught these things, and that's kind of like goes to where and why I wanted to come on this podcast a little bit and just kind of like say that like how I was brought in wasn't really traditional. I don't really have someone that's there, I guess, giving me guidance, being, telling me what to look out for, telling me how to navigate these conversations and negotiate. The one guy that I did have, unfortunately, had passed away. So I've been kind of learning on the fly, and that's the beauty in this whole process. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, is like, you got to take a chance on yourself, because, I could have easily relied on other people, and my wrestling career could have ended, when he passed away. But I still kind of seek some things out, and I still showed that like I wanted to be a part of it, and I still wanted to make an impact with it. And I think since then, it's been a slowly paying off, So
Yes, sir. Yes,
I love
sir. Yes, sir.
Ms. JoJo actually asked the question I wanted to ask. What do you do to keep up your mental health as you're traveling or in the ring?
So when I'm at home, I like to just kind of like hang out. I spend a lot of time with friends, family, nieces, nephews, as much as I can. Um, I think that's important. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to wrestling or just anything. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it 110%. If I have the thought or the inkling of wanting to do something, I want to do it right then and now. And for like a good year, I was operating in that mindset, just like go, 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 go. Um, and even after the death of Jimmy Smooth, I think is when I started going in that mindset a little harder. Um, and it was like a blessing and a curse, because as much as I needed wrestling and as much as I wanted to do that to keep me occupied, there was still a moment there where I needed to take care of myself. And I kind of failed to do that, in the sense that I didn't know what else to do but wrestle. And lately I've been taking the time to not really, stress too much about like what's going to happen next, because I can't really dictate that. I can't really sit here and do much about that. All I have to do is just show up, make sure that I'm physically and mentally healthy and prepared to go and do what I do best, and that is wrestle. It's my passion, and it's my dream. And I always kind of remind myself, that like Jimmy's there. So if I ever am stressing, I got a tattoo on my wrist for him. Um, he's always still with me. I
Let
lost
me
another friend in wrestling who was a referee, Devin Armstrong. Um, he was the first person to have a conversation with me at Galley Lucha Libre, because we're both the white kids. Um, so that was losing both of them in like a real short amount of time. Uh, it made me realize that like I have to take care of that mental stuff and channel that, and I think wrestling is a good outlet. Wrestling's completely saved my life. I posted that on social media a few times. Um, and it's 100% the truth. Like this sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, this saves my life. So I'm very grateful for it. And I always try to just remind myself that it's okay to take a step away from things, like if things are getting overwhelming. So I just try to spend as much time with genuine people, just good people. If I can have a nice genuine conversation with someone, that alone will give me enough time to bring me back down again. So that's what I've been doing, is just being careful who I talk to, making sure that they got like good interest for me, for the conversation. things like that.
We've enjoyed this conversation. Sorry, I got wild dogs downstairs acting up.
Before I let Kev give his last question, I do have one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would be your advice to someone up and coming that like they want to start? What would be your advice to them?
I personally don't feel like I'm someone that either should give advice when it comes to this, because we're all still learning. Don't get me wrong. I don't care if they're 10 years in, they're still learning. But it kind of goes back to like there's people I've met that have gone to these schools and whatnot, and I learned so much from just being in the same room with some of these people and not even having a conversation with them. I learned so much from them that it's like I can't really say what to do, because I'm just I'm just showing up and I'm just being myself, and I'm doing what my parents always raised me to do, and that's like, if you're going to do something, work hard, and if you care about it, definitely do it to the fullest extent. Stay busy. And I work very hand in hand with Galley Lucha Libre and a lot of other people. So a lot of the times I'm doing a lot of work. And I think you have to just be prepared for that, because nothing's going to be handed out to anybody. You gotta work for it. You gotta earn it. Like, you gotta pay your dues. A lot of people, you know, they will show up to some places and get all upset because they didn't really help out. That's important. You have to contribute. And if you don't know how to contribute, it's okay to always ask. So I think you have to be vulnerable if you want to do something like this. And you have to be coachable and teachable, That's something I learned from playing regular sports and football. My football coaches taught me that. You have to be teachable. There's so many things that, like, when you're playing a sport or you're doing something, that someone says something in the moment and you don't understand it, but you respond anyway. You have to know when those times are when not to say something, because you will learn a lot more in those moments. So you just got to be ready and open-minded for it. And, if you're going to pursue something like this, it's a true lifestyle. It's not just like you do this for a few years or a few months and you get an off season. Even on the independent level, we're going 365 days a year because we have to. Our goal is to make more money than what we did the last month, because we got to take care of ourselves. We got to keep marketing ourselves. We got to brand ourselves. We still got towns to make. We got hotels we got to, pay for out of our own pocket and stuff. So it's not as luxurious as people think. And I think that's with anything, it's not going to be easy when you start something, especially something that like truly takes a different mindset, and I think for anyone that wants to pursue this, try it. If you really want to pursue it, go and try it. And it's okay if you fail, just don't give up, because wrestling's like a big Ferris wheel, and you'll get on at the bottom of the ride and the thing's going to keep going. And the moment you hop off the ride, you're done. So you got to keep going. You know what I mean? You got to keep doing better than what you were the day before. And you got to have that mindset. If you don't have it, it's unfortunately not going to work for you,
Understood.
All right. Well, my final question, A.M.B, is we have a guy that wants to take a spot or bumps that's on the panel. Actually, it's our host, Dallas Cash, and my final question is, if you had to have a dream match against Dallas Cash, what would the stipulation be, and how long would Dallas last?
What the
Pause.
fuck?
Pause. Pause.
No, you did not just set me up.
Pause. But yes, I did. So, how would you book this one?
2 out of 3 falls.
He's being
2 out of 3
nice.
falls.
He'd kill me. He'd kill me. I
Be a nice
can't.
little back and forth, you know.
I wouldn't be
Nice
able
Yeah.
to
back and forth.
yes.
You at least get a fall, though. Come on, man.
Yeah, it'd be me falling to the ground.
Oh, Kevin, I love you.
See, hold on, A.M.B, because I gotta play this because he just pissed me off. I can't believe out of all the questions you gonna ask A.M.B that question. You know what, man?
Now get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was good.
Thank you. And
Two
thank
three-
you.
2 out of 3 falls. I'm getting pinned both times. They ain't going to the like.
Hey man, I try to give him like all his flowers, and he just thinks he's just gonna job. That's ridiculous.
handspring cutter is undefeated. I'm done. I'm done with.
I would physically pay to watch this. Like,
I mean, I just want to be there. Can I just get front row seats?
Cat's gonna be the ref. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You don't want me to be the special guest. Okay, yeah. All right,
Austin,
fast
I'm
counts.
sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Austin,
I got you.
Austin, I'm sorry.
I got
this
you.
is,
A.M.B, you my dog. Thank you.
I'll help interfere. I'll help interfere in one of your matches. Like I'll help you get a dub on somebody. You know, I meant to. You know, you were in a tag team with Sam Stackhouse. Obviously, you had one tag team match with Sam Stackhouse.
Yeah.
And he recently just went through hell with KJ Orso, who we've had on this show twice.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it on this show twice. And I know KJ has been keeping tabs on Sam Stackhouse, and he's now noticed that you've helped basically Sam Stackhouse in a tag match. Would you be open to the idea of wrestling KJ Orso?
Oh, any day.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
Matter of fact, how about this? If you could take 2 minutes right now, I'm gonna put you on the big screen to say something to KJ Orso from GCW, what would you say to him right now?
KJ Orso, Fuego del Sol. I grew up watching you. And I know there's a good guy underneath that. This whole facade that you got going on right now, I don't know what it is that you have going on in your brain right now. But listen, you're messing with my boy, the big man, Sam Stackhouse, okay? And you're putting him through hell. You're causing personal problems with him. You're giving him a lot of grief. He doesn't need that. His family doesn't need that. And I got an issue with him because he told me that KJ Orso is also trying to end his career. And I, for one, am a big fan of Sam Stackhouse, and I don't see his career ending anytime soon. So, as a matter of fact, I think it's just beginning. So, KJ Orso, hey, if you want to challenge me, I would love to wrestle you. May the best man win. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give it everything that I have, not just for myself, because I don't do this for myself. I do this for everybody who wants to do this, who doesn't have the opportunity and the chance to do it. That's what I represent. So if Sam Stackhouse, for whatever reason, doesn't have the guts or the mental capacity or the willpower to step up to you, maybe one day I can.
That's what I like to hear, man. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's A.M.B right there. Okay.
yes.
We had a real live promo on the show. The funny thing is that everything was going completely well when I interviewed KJ the second time. And then I brought up Sam Stackhouse and he just turned on me. Oh. And I was just like, oh shit, let me get this back on track because I might be next on the list.
His eyes just turned, like the color of his eyes.
Yeah, and man, I don't like that look in his eye. But listen, if it ever happens, you know, you got a tough fight on your hands. Yeah. What do you got coming up these next couple of weeks, and where can the fans find you at?
So I got this Friday night, I have Taco Throwdown in Rock Falls, Illinois with Zawa Live. Zawa Live is a promotion I just recently kind of got on board with. Ryan Zeekshi runs Zawa Live, and it's a family friendly, promotion. Um, Very good back and forth between a lot of the roster members there. You get a lot of good matchups. You get a lot of good storytelling going on, and the fans are completely invested. You know, um, and it was kind of like an eye opener for me when I showed up to Zawa Live for my first time. I got a reaction from the audience. I know I travel quite extensively around the Midwest, but that kind of was eye opening to me. So that kind of showed that, hey, everything that I'm doing, it's paying off. You can catch me at Zawa Live this Friday. You can catch me at Galley Lucha Libre, and you have their upcoming dates right now. There's so many that we got lined up that I honestly can't even think of. Social X Wrestling in Iowa, Reedland, Iowa. You can catch me out there coming up soon in October. Um, I got Dreamwave Wrestling. I'm going to be making an appearance there. I'm not 100% sure. That's one of those places where you got to earn your spot. You got to work hard. You got to pay your dues. So I'm still kind of eager to show face there, whether I'm on the show or not. They always put on a good show. Dreamwave Wrestling in LaSalle. You definitely got to check them out. Honor Among Wrestling. I know I have some dates kind of lined up with them in Iowa also. Um, November, I will be taking my first trip outside of the Midwest. So I'm very excited about that. All Combat Wrestling out of Orlando, Florida. They got a anniversary show coming up, and they had asked me to be a part of that. So I'm very eager and excited to, for one, go to Florida, but also to say that I'm going there to wrestle. Um, when I was traveling for work, I was not able to make it to Florida. So that was a trip that eluded me. It's always been like a go-to destination spot for me to go and see. I have never seen the ocean. I have never seen the ocean. So I'm
Well,
hoping that will change in November.
Gonna get a view.
we have another guest, another co-host on the show, Angel. She's not here today, but she's from Orlando, Florida. So
Okay.
if you do, when you do get the date for that show, let me know. I'll send her down there, so she can
Sounds good.
grab some content. Uh, Man, it's been great having you on the show. I hope you've had a great time. I've had a great time talking to you, kind of getting your story out there. And then this is not going to be the only time that you're on the show. We definitely want to have you back. I think that when we talked at Tacos and Tequila, shout out to Tacos and Tequila. I'll be there this Saturday, Cleveland, and next week in Cincinnati. We talked. I just, like I said, I saw a spark in your eye. I saw happiness on your face. I was happy to meet you, and I was very honored because you were just very warm. And I see why it's easy for people to support you and believe in you. And I get it. I get the hard work that you've had to put in and the friends that you've met along the way. You deserve it. And I believe in you. I believe that you're going to be a face in the crowd that we all recognize, and your monumental moment is on the rise. And we speak it into existence because we here at the Humble Roses podcast are honored to be in your presence. So thank you for everything that you've done for us. And if there's anything that we can do for you to further support you, please let us know. We are more than happy to have you, here if you ever want to stop by, if you got something you want to say. This show is open for you. The doors are always open, the red carpet's always open. So I want to thank you, A.M.B, personally. I know you're the pride of I know you're the pride of Ottawa, Illinois. I know that going forward we're going to see so many more things. And I just think at the age of 27 going into 28, this is just the tip of the iceberg for you. And I'm happy. I'm proud. And is there anything else that we didn't discuss that you wanted to get out there?
Well, first, I would just like to say thank you for that, for real.
Yeah,
That means
absolutely.
a lot. Like, I always, don't, I have a hard time kind of seeing myself in a different way sometimes. But it's very rewarding to know that people have respect and they understand, And you guys being wrestling fans yourselves, that truly means a lot, you know. I had a conversation with someone at Tacos and Tequilas, and they were like, "Oh, you guys did a good job and whatnot," and we're like saying some really warm felt stuff, and I'm like, that means so much, because sometimes there's fans that like will say stuff and they don't even remember our names, and it's just crazy. So thank you for those nice words. Um, and honestly, just chase your dreams, man. For anyone who is listening, you know, if I got to say one more thing, just chase your dreams. You ain't got to have it all figured out, and it's okay. It's just small steps at a time. Be better than you were yesterday. That's all you can do. So,
Can I do something for you?
yeah.
So, a little bit about us. We have different shows because we're part of Culture Clash Network, but the Humble Roses and several other podcasts, such as Marks with Mikes, which is the shirt you saw me in.
Okay.
I'm on that show as well, right? So we have different people in our network, okay? And one of those people, me and Kev interviewed, what was it, a couple months ago, Kev, was
Yeah, it
it?
was a couple months ago. Yes.
We interviewed Mosh from the Headbangers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And he's part of Culture Clash Network.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Mosh,
So,
baby.
so if it's okay with you, the next time that I talk to him, I should send him some of your footage. Give me like a couple matches in the inbox on IG. I'll send
okay.
it to him and see what he thinks about it. Because you know, I can't say what it is that he does because he told me not to say. But he's down in Florida, so maybe if he's able to get there, maybe he can come to your show if need be.
I would love that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I would
I
love
don't
that so much.
thank me. I'm nobody. To thank you for being who you are. Um,
I know
I
we've been seen on the show, you guys, and I'm Kev, Dallas, but I think Roses of the Week, I want to give them out to Austin for
yes,
hard work. So
yes.
roses to you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
No,
you.
no problem. No
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I have another announcement. Well, I put in the request. We should be hearing back tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, next Friday around 1:30 p.m. Please pull up if you can. I don't care how it happens. 1:30 to 2:30. We got Santino Morella coming through. Make sure you pull up for that. Um, you know, going forward, we're going to interview Santino. It's going to be tag team style. So the ladies, Angel and Vanessa, will start it off, and then me and Kev will close it out. Making those connections is absolutely what we do. Austin, this is not going to be the last time we talk.
Definitely.
We're definitely going to, you know, make something happen.
much love, brother.
Much love to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Humble Roses podcast. I'm Dallas Cash. We got Kel the Postman, La Madrina, and the future of Midwest indie wrestling, A.M.B.
Say it louder, Dallas. Say it louder.
A.M.B. A.M.B.
Yeah.
A.M.B.
Gotta hit the pose.
A.M.B.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pose be yeah. Yeah, the
With the
pose is lit.
pose.
The pose is
The
lit.
pose lit.
Promo video.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Humble Roses podcast. We will see you next Wednesday and then that following Friday, October 3rd. Be ready. Peace. Ladies.
99 Gorilla.